Hello, welcome to Femme Flex Friday. All right, ladies, gossip, hate, backstabbing, jealousy. What do these things all have in common?
They're mean.
They're all behaviors that can be linked to serious issue of bullying, okay? With the rise of technology, bullying is on the rise too, both online and offline. Today, we're gonna be discussing the impact of bullying, both traditional and cyber, and the steps we can take as a society to put an end to this vicious cycle. We're gonna be reacting to some deep thoughts on this issue, as well as some examples that will truly make us all think. So buckle up as we dive into this important topic and give a voice to those who have been affected by bullying. We're here to have an open and honest conversation about online and offline bullying. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to Olympia TV so that you never miss any of our episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video with the people that you care about the most. All right, ladies, we all know about bullying, okay? We are every one of us, everyone watching this and everyone here on these couches, we're all victims of bullying. I want to, before we dive into some of the examples, I want to really establish, the type of bullying that we want to really cover the most. And I want to start with this clip. If you guys haven't heard of Jordan Peterson, he's like one of my favorites. He's so philosophical. The way he explains things and describes things is second to none in my opinion. And I want to watch this clip first.
Mean girls, you can't play with us. You can't sit with us. And that's simultaneously a self-elevation and also a derogation of the other. It's very effective and very pernicious and extremely difficult to control. Like, what do you do about it? If you're a girl and you're isolated and shamed in that way, what can you do? You can't really use recourse to authority, because if you go tell a teacher, let's say you're being picked on in junior high, then you're just laughed at because you can't handle your own battles, and you can't bring it to the point of physical altercation. You can if you're a man, and that happens very rapidly with men, and which is why it almost never happens. It happens almost immediately with men. It's like, what did you say? Do you want to say that again? And any man worth his salt knows how to play that game. And so generally among men, this just doesn't happen.
So I want to take us back in time, all of us, okay, to the first time that we ever experienced bullying. And the reason why is because the bullying that we experienced when we were younger, it plays out later into adulthood. And so we're going to discuss that. But let's start with you, Camille. I know it's kind of an uncomfortable topic, but tell us the first experience you had of bullying, because we've all experienced it. How old were you? What happened?
I would say middle school. I had a really hard time in middle school. I also went to a really small school. There was 20 kids in my class. From a small town. So as you kind of enter those awkward years, seventh grade, I found myself hanging out. I would be by myself every recess at the bleachers. I was very isolated. My friends that I had, they kind of got very cliquey, and I didn't really fit in. So I was picked on. I also had acne, and I just felt like I had a horrible middle school. Oh, man. And girls can be so mean. Yes. Sometimes I envy men for just being able to hash it out right there. But the nonverbal things that girls can do to each other is really mean and vicious. So I actually had transferred to a different school. My eighth grade year, I actually transferred out and I went to a different school. And it was a big reset. I was able to meet new friends, and it was the best thing my mom and I could have done. But now that I have a daughter who's in 7th, 8th grade, last year when she was in 7th grade, she had such a hard year. And for us, when we were at that age, we could escape it. We could go home, and you can put it all at rest. But now that they have the Snapchat, and they have the younger generation, they have all these social media platforms. They can't really escape it. And I see sometimes how the kids will talk to each other, and how the rumors will be said, and they don't know. you know, and what some of it means, but it's brutal.
Yeah, It's interesting he was talking about, you know, like, because like, you know, male and female energies are different.
Yeah.
We just are designed different. And, you know, the traditional type of bullying for females is very pernicious, like, you know, the backstabbing and the way that
Passive
gossiping
aggressiveness.
and everything like that. But with technology, it's almost like there potentially are more men and more boys who are more on the pernicious side, because with behind the screen, you delve into like the next generation of, you know, the bullying that kind of, it's a weird thing to welcome everyone into, but now like everyone is like more welcomed into that kind of like undertone, like backstabby kind of pernicious style of bullying. That's what's so interesting.
Well,
you know what I mean?
and rumors can be spread so quickly, right? It's, you know, it used to be just kind of word of mouth, and now it's just like blast a picture or something.
Get some examples about that.
And it can go viral, and I see a lot of kids just really struggling with this, and it's sad.
What about you, Whitney?
I had, it was off, well, I think no one can say bullying was a good experience, but my first one that had a huge impact on me, I was in 4th grade, transferred to a new school, so I was the new girl, and that's hard, like, again, 4th grade was just kind of an awkward thing. I went from a small school to a big school, so there was this group of girls that just didn't like me. I'm new, I had very little self-confidence, I was tiny, so I was this little kind of small girl compared to others in my class. And so they would just pick on me, and I wasn't used to it. So it happened, long story short, day in, day out. It was just, don't go to the bathroom, we're gonna beat you up in the bathroom. Like, I was scared physically. They were threatening to beat me up. And so I'd never been in a fight, like nothing like that. Well, I did try to tell the teacher one time, and to Jordan Peterson's credit, it backfired. And so then it made these bullying worse. Well, one day, I mean, I just kind of had it. I think I just was at that point. I would cry every night.
Oh my gosh.
Hadn't told my parents. And we were at PE, and in front of the whole class is there. And this one girl who was kind of the ringleader just chucked this basketball at me. And from behind, and it hit me in the head. And it's like I just knew it was her. And everyone was laughing, and something came over me, and I turned around, and I just went full speed ahead, straight at her, and just tackled her on the concrete floor. I mean, and I remember standing up like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in so much trouble. And no one said a word, and our PE teacher was like, oh my gosh, and she was bleeding, and so we got sent to the
side for you.
But we were in the office. I didn't get expelled or anything. I don't even think I got in trouble, honestly. But the bullying stopped.
Wow.
So I don't condone physical violence, but I was even shocked in myself. I think I'd had enough, and just charged straight at her. The only good thing was it stopped. They never, from that day on, did not ever bother me.
Results speak for themselves.
Wow.
That's so awesome.
But I mean, the impact it had on me now really scares me for our younger generation. Because it's way worse now. Like you said, we could escape it to some extent.
That's what we're talking about.
And I was having a hard time at such a young age. You just feel like, I can't deal with this. And gosh, you see the suicide rates and things for people. And thankfully that I didn't get to that point, but wow.
It's so huge though, because when you're young, that's your world. You know, that's the thing. Your friends and your school. What else do you do? You're not working. So that's huge. That's your whole life.
Well, and now it's like that when we hear about kids that bring guns to school or you know, that will some of these mass shootings. A lot of them are kids that were bullied, and they held it inside. They kept it inside, and they just exploded. And it's there's so many things wrong with our society, but I don't know how you even fix this.
Well, and the thing was too, being new, like I didn't have friends. So you look at some of these mass shootings and stuff. I had nothing to lose at that point. Like I was being terrorized
They pushed you to
daily.
the point where you just were like,
Yeah, it's
enough.
like, I don't care. Like,
Right.
everyone's making fun of me anyways. People are laughing. If I tackle her and I get beat up, well,
That's pretty badass, Whitney.
I don't know.
Well, you know, we talk about the bullying as, you know, as kids. What about you, Linda? What did you ever experience anything when you were younger?
Actually, not younger. Because I participated in sports, so I had like organized group of people that I
Yeah.
with. But actually, for me, I would say the first time that I felt bullying, but it wasn't bullying, I'm going to say mean girls, is after college as a professional cheerleader and being introduced into the, you know, because I was an athlete before, and I wasn't really necessarily the girl that knew how to like do my hair, my makeup, and prissy, and I had expensive purses, and so as a cheerleader, had this group of women, and they basically
Like, you can't sit with us.
Yes, right. You can't kind of that.
Yeah.
Made you
Sit
feel
with me.
inferior?
Interesting.
Absolutely. And what I absolutely love about it is it's like, gosh, I went on to do something.
Yeah,
super
they're watching.
great.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what are they doing now?
Right.
Well,
Right,
and
right.
that is part of our that's going to be part of our solutions too. But you know, the thing that's interesting about the you know, childlike bullying tactics is that we think that when we get older, it's going to subside. We think that people mature and they grow up, and that childlike type of behavior just doesn't continue through. But what I have found is, in some cases, it actually gets worse. Like, it gets so bad when we get older, and it makes a lot of us like uncomfortable to like go out and like meet new people and form like really close bonds, you know, because for whatever reason, people they maybe sometimes it's people that wanted to be like in the popular crowd, and then they have this idea of what popular people act like, and then when they're old enough to be out of that phase, they mimic some of those like popular behaviors. And I'm talking about like women mostly, because we're women, and we're talking a lot to a women audience, but like I know guys have to deal with this too. But as a female, I will say that I always want to be friends with everybody. And I was somebody who, when I was younger, and I could fit into any group, but it always bothered me if I was hanging out with like the popular kids and they had that whole like elitist kind of thing, because I would always like see somebody who was like left out, and that would bother me. Like I never want anyone to feel left out, and so that's
because
like,
you have a good heart.
well, I try, I mean, how could you not? Like, how, I don't know how you could have that how your human instinct can't kick in when you like see somebody feeling left out or whatever. I mean, we're all human, right? I mean,
But
we all.
that's where bullies come from. They are the opposite of that.
Yeah. So it's like, what exactly causes the bullying? Is it stemming from like he said, it's kind of like twofold, right? I mean, on one hand, you're like this elitist, you're putting yourself like in this like, echelon above somebody else, and then on the other hand of that, it's kind of like, is that because maybe you're insecure with yourself?
For sure.
You're not confident. Like, where does it come?
That's where most of it seems to come from, like lack of self-awareness, self-esteem, self-confidence, and it's almost like a trickle-down effect. You get kind of abuse in general in relationships, friendships, whatever, where it's, if you were a parent-child, for example, and you experienced abuse, well, then when that child becomes a parent, it trickles
all
down.
Play into it.
So if you were bullied and you never really kind of grew out of that, where you leveled
you're making
up,
a good point.
then they're going to bully, because now they're more powerful.
Yeah.
They've got to make someone feel inferior. I mean, that's to me where I feel like bullying really creates
Everybody
this.
needs to feel like love and warmth. Even the
Otherwise,
bullies.
you've got to find a way to someone you can make feel inferior to make yourself feel better.
I said my daughter, was experiencing this a lot last year, and I gave her advice, and maybe it wasn't the most mature advice for a parent to give to their child, but I knew she could not just go to the teachers, or she couldn't do something about it. And there were some kids that were being really mean to her and calling her names and just being really hurtful. So I was trying to teach her, like, you need to stand up for yourself. Not saying to be physical, but I'm like, if this girl is saying this to you, I'm like, you give it right back to her. And there could be, I don't know what the proper way to address it, but it was trying to teach her, like, stand up for yourself.
But those are life skills.
Yes. Don't just take what they're saying and like absorb it and like get sunken in. Like, stand up for yourself and give it. So I would coach her on like comebacks.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if she says this, then give it right back. Like say this back
That's a
to
life
her.
skill though, because if you're in a job, if you're a manager or you're being managed, when people feel like they can push you around, you're not going to get as far in life. So you have to be able to establish your dominance in any space that you're in. I mean, not like in a bully way, but you have to have some grit to you, right?
Yeah. Well, bullies prey on the ones that
are weak.
allow it.
Yeah, this is blowing me away because it's like I would say recently where you work with or you interact with people that they're kind of a bully, like kind of a mean girl.
Yeah.
And you're a little bit like, it throws me off.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's something that last time it was like middle school.
Yeah, you're like, this is foreign to me now.
That's usually where it starts.
Like, so what's going on with you? Because like you're talking about life skills and just kind of knowing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking and it takes a while and you're around that individual and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm like you, like really nice and yes.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay,
that doesn't win everyone over.
I need to like stand up and like
she's getting some like she's like getting
so who wants the box? Where's the boxing glove?
You guys are gonna be blown away. We're gonna react actually to some really crazy cases of bullying, and it's gonna be more of like a reactionary segment. But first, we're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, don't go anywhere. We're gonna do some reactionary stuff.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
Welcome back to Femme Flex Friday. Now, we're going to enter this next segment and we're going to do some reactions to some crazy bullying stories. Now, Linda, do you remember we were talking before about the cheerleader mom who did a deep fake of another girl on the cheerleading team? Well, I actually wanted to share that because I found the story and I thought we could watch it and we could actually talk about this story and what we think about it. So let's go ahead and watch it.
It's a troubling new take on cyberbullying. A mom in Pennsylvania is accused this morning of using so-called deep fakes to anonymously harass members of her daughter's cheerleading team.
I think I was just so much like in shock with everything going on. Like I couldn't really comprehend like what was going on.
Maddie Heim says after getting several threatening calls and texts from unknown numbers, some even saying she should take her own life, her cheer coaches told Maddie they received this video that supposedly showed her vaping. She and her mom shared it with us. They say it's fake.
I felt like if I said to someone, like no one would trust me. They have the video on proof, even though the video wasn't real.
According to court documents, images from Maddie's social media were also doctored to make it appear like she was nude and drinking. Her mother turned to police.
I didn't know how to protect her from that. I didn't know who to protect her from. There were a lot of sleepless nights.
Authorities say behind it all was Rafaela Spone, whose own daughter is a teammate of Himes on the Victory Vipers cheer squad. Spone is now charged with 3 counts each of cyber harassment of a child and harassment.
My client denies what they have charged her with, and we are going to aggressively fight this.
In a statement, the Victory Vipers...
I got the gist of the story.
That's so scary. I never saw it. I remember you guys talking about it.
Yes.
That's a harassment on a child.
Right.
Well, and the scary thing about that is, like, how would you even prove that that's not? Like,
I know. How did they prove it?
That must be so hard to prove that was not the child.
But think about it this way. Even if, technology gets so advanced that we can disprove things like this, once it's out there, you're going to still have people who believe
it.
It's like you may have like 50% of the people who go, oh, well, then it's not real. But there's still people that believe that this girl is like taking nudes and vaping and doing all these crazy things. And that's the thing about, about like the modern day bullying, things that we didn't have to worry about when we were younger.
And this is a mom, an adult.
Yes.
I bet you, so her daughter's a bully too. Because her mom's a bully.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, they teamed up on it. That's nuts.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. Did that mom get charged? Do you know how it ended?
She did.
She's in prison, right?
I'm pretty sure that that she got locked up for that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I know. So the thing about the deep fake stuff is that just like the artificial intelligence and stuff, this was actually, I think that story happened like a year ago. And the thing that worries me is that these technologies are going to become more and more advanced.
Yeah, that video looked pretty damn real.
It looked real.
So how do we protect our youth from this? That's what I mean, it's like the elusive question.
That's
what we're going to do to protect our youth from this. But I mean, we have to teach them some skills to be able to like not back down and to really like fight for your truth, fight for your worth. And I guess that's really the best thing to do.
I want to research to see even like obviously from the deep fake, but like that's a huge form of bullying right now with everything with social media. Yeah. I don't understand the technology behind how they can make that happen, but more importantly, how did they prove it was fake?
Right.
Like how, I'm curious. So now, you know me and my nerd mentalities, I'm going to go home and research this.
Every time there's an original photo or video, there's like SEO data on it. And so like the technology gurus, like I'm sure Nico would probably be able to find out in like the 2.2 seconds, because you go and you see like if it's the original, if it's been edited, you can find that information. But like I said, once it's out there, it's out there. So it doesn't matter if you can find it like in 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, I feel like with the bullying thing, extracurricular activities are so super important. Especially I think today, I think that you learn a lot, like because even trying to work with your child, or they prefer talking to their peers, and it's just like you said, if you go to the teacher, then the so they want to try to solve it, and they have to learn how to solve these types of situations on their own. And I feel like when you're involved in some type of extracurricular activity, it doesn't necessarily have to be as an athlete. It could be like in music, and you've got your theater, posse, art. And you've got people.
Yeah, your posse. We got our posse.
So you have some strength behind you, instead of it being where you're alone.
Alone. That's the thing.
Because that's where people can pick on that person.
You need one person. We talk about that all the time. We're each other's person.
Yes. And that's the thing, though, because it's when you feel alone and isolated, that's a very dark place. That's where a lot of these people get depressed. These children have nothing to go to. Sometimes one person is as strong as a full army. Don't try to have
a voluminous group of friends.
Yeah,
just have a couple
good
really
friends.
good.
Not to feel alone.
That is important. Okay, so this next one is a physical bullying situation. It's not cyber, and it's something that I have mixed feelings about. So I want to watch it, and then we're going to discuss.
Excuse me? Is this something? Yeah. What is it? Are you gonna fucking move? Yeah, go. What you gotta do? Were you like 15?
What do you gotta do? You like
Mom dropped you off here?
Did your mom drop you off here?
Guess what? I'm 18 and bigger than you. I feel bad.
Guess what? I'm 18 and bigger than you. I feel bad. Okay, I want to get your guys' thoughts before I give mine. So, go for it.
Yeah. I know, like, being like also owning a gym.
Yeah.
Like we like people who like pose in the bathroom. People who pose in the bathroom, or like guys that would be like we had one employee who was also a competitor, and he was getting ready for a show, and he was like in his trunks, and he was just posing in front of the mirror, ugh. And some guy walked behind him, and he was recording himself too. This guy walked behind him, and our staff member was like, dude, called him out, what the F, I'm recording, called him out, and he, the guy was just sorry, he walked away. but he posted the video thinking it was.
No.
He thought it was.
No.
He thought it was funny because he called somebody out for ruining his video.
Oh my gosh,
And,
the entitlement.
yeah, I mean, this is just a competitor
Seriously.
completely out of his gourd.
Oh my gosh.
But Chris and I were just like what the F?
Yeah,
Like,
that's not
take that down. Like, that's not representation of us. Like,
Yeah.
But so. I mean, so if you're posing in the bathroom, in the mirror, when the people are walking around, you at the very minimum will get maybe looks like okay, it makes people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But the guy, I don't think should have come back and started saying comments
Agreed.
to his ear.
Yeah.
That's like kind of like weird.
I agree. The bathroom stuff too, I think, is highly inappropriate because people don't realize sometimes there's a camera there. So
well, and legally you can't be recording in the bathroom.
Exactly.
I
So
know. The
that's a
entitlement is
problem.
nuts to me.
But and then to your point too, I think owning a gym you see a lot, and you're like, can you move out of the way a little? Like, just you're in the way. So, right. But the problem was when he walked away.
And he came back.
And then he came back and was just like, kind of just waiting to talk shit. Just talk
So do you
smack.
think there's more bullying like in gyms? Because I kind of, like, you were talking about bullying, and a lot of guys start working out because they've been like bullied or something earlier and they want to be strong. And so some of them go and say, hey, I'm going to get some muscles and, you won't push me around, or I'm strong. Sometimes I do, if I can remember, like, see that in the gym where you got a lot of egos, a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like bullying, like intimidation. I don't know. Is that the same type?
If you were bullied, you probably, that does get people into the gym a lot.
Gets them in the gym.
It's taken it to the next level where now you are turning it around and now you're going to bully
Now you're
people.
the bully.
So
so interesting.
Sadly.
I think that's
I think there's also certain environments, certain gyms that might have a more like machismo type. Even though like our gym, we are more of like a hardcore gym. However, the vibe in the community is is not like that, and we feel very blessed to have that. But there's a lot of gyms that are very machismo. It's all about showing off, and it's like they're proving something. So it can like those types of environments can really magnify.
And I think that's what scares people away. You know, they think
cause
that
fights or things like. Thank God we haven't had to deal with any of that. Have you?
No, thank God.
Well, I mean, and that's
actually I take that back.
That's a segue kind of into the next clip. But before we look at that next one, I just want to say that, like, to your point, I think it's the crazy new generation where there's this entitlement. Where somehow, like, if you're recording yourself, you own the gym. Like, you all of a sudden, everyone has to, it's your world and everyone's just living in it. I do not understand this. I think it's crazy. There have been times when Matt has, like, recorded me. I don't even have my phone on the gym floor. I keep it in my locker. And then after I'm done with my workout, I'll, like, pull it out to record a workout or something for my followers and stuff like that. But there have been times when Matt recorded me and somebody walked by in the back and maybe, they were wearing something or doing something that I thought my people might comment about, and I won't post the video because I look at the video, I make sure nobody's in it that's doing anything that I think somebody might say some shit about. And if I ever miss that and somebody starts talking shit, I will take the video down because I don't want anyone, so to go so far the other direction, to record yourself in a bathroom. Nobody should have the right to record
people are
someone
changing.
else.
People are changing.
So, but the guy, I have mixed feelings about it though, because on one hand, the guy is sitting there recording himself in the mirror, and people don't deserve to be. The guy who walked by, if he would have walked by and he would have complained to the manager, then I think the kid recording himself should have gotten, slapped on the wrist for that. And that would have been a great end to that thing, because the guy's like, hey, I don't want to be recorded in the locker room,
Right.
But instead he walks back and he makes himself the bully, which he could have had it. He was in the right and then he was in the wrong. So it was like, hello, So this, have you guys ever heard of, you guys know who Joey Swole is?
Yes. I think I know
he's
this one.
funny to me because he's become like the policing of this fad where people want to post TikTok viral videos, and they say that they do the weirdest things. So let's watch this and then we're going to discuss.
Is the guy in the back?
What is he doing?
What is that?
Well, that's...
The uploader, being the person closest to the camera, posted this on their page
You know what
to
I mean?
make
Like,
fun of the man's poor form behind them.
So you set your phone up to act like you're recording yourself flexing.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
you can move out of the way to get a video of that
Gym
man
Positivity
behind
Nation.
you to make fun of him on social media. So let me remind you guys of something. If you see somebody in the gym that doesn't have the best form or maybe doesn't know what they're doing, you have two options. Option one, you can approach them respectfully and kindly ask if they want your help. If they say yes, teach them, show them how. Option two, mind your own business. Filming somebody to post them on social media to make fun of them for likes and attention is never an option. And then you
Yeah.
So
Joey Swole has completely changed the whole.
He has, because that's not the Joey Swole I knew
people have
years ago.
memes of him. Now, okay.
But hey, good. I mean, kudos to
Yeah.
him. 'cause
He's
turning
found his niche and it's really working for him.
Yeah.
And I enjoy watching him and I think it's cool because he's cool and he's like somebody that like guys want to be cool like him, and so he's got a good kind of position. He's got a good essence to him, you know. The thing is that we have this crazy entitlement epidemic right now where it's more of like the younger generation. I mean, I haven't really seen anyone my age do this, but I'm sure they do. You know, your whole goal is to get as many views as possible at anyone's expense.
Yes.
And that is bullying. That is literally bullying. You don't, somebody's just minding their business, and the next thing you know, they're on a viral video they didn't ask to be in. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, I agree, but I think also the platforms that are like gym fails, and some of those account influencers in the wild, like it's kind of it's amazing, but it really kind of like highlights what that guy was recording in the background, the guy doing horrible form, and so it's kind of turned it into like
I do watch
they
those.
look for that in the gym, like well, how can I record this, like maybe I can get on gym fails or something.
But to your point too, and like the whole movement Joey Swole's after is we're trying to encourage people to not be intimidated in the gym.
Right.
We as females know that's the number one thing is they're worried that everyone's going to see them and they sit down, they don't know how to use it. Or proper form. So that's, I'm sure you guys know, that's the number one fear most women say when they come in and they want to start personal training. So if this stuff isn't kind of nipped in the bud pretty soon, you're going to see anyone that's not in the gym world out of fear that someone's going to be filming them.
Well, and Joey Swole is apparently becoming very mature. So kudos to him. But he's a coach. I don't know if he's a personal trainer anymore, but I know he's done the online nutrition plans and stuff. But I think any mature professional, like if you're a trainer on the floor or something and you see someone that has bad form, that's like target rich environment to try to maybe get a client. And so that's for him, that's his like profession. So it's
it is. Of all the years I've been training, or I've been training and coaching, there's only been one time I have ever actually gone out of my way to walk up to somebody in the gym, and it's because I thought that she was going to get hurt. I remember there was a woman who was doing the back extension, and she was flinging her body back and throwing her head back, and I was like worried she was going to take her back out, and I couldn't just watch that and stand by. So I walked up to her, and I mean, I don't go out of my way to give unsolicited advice. I just let people do live and let live.
I do. I know, like now for me, when I see people, I just like mind your own business. Linda. Mind your own business.
Mind your own business.
Especially now, I think it's really hard because I know so much. And I see stuff and I'm like, oh my God, she's going to regret that.
Tomorrow morning she's going to be feeling that.
Okay. And then I've learned, because you go up to someone and you try to give them that advice or help, and at my age, you just realize, that just doesn't work.
I've tried to giving advice to like 2 times that really come to mind. Not even like really correcting, but maybe giving us a tip to modify, to activate the muscle group they were really trying to activate.
Appreciated it.
No, I mean, they kind of looked at me just kind of like
you're like,
F off. And I was like,
well, then
but you're the owner. If it's at your own gym, so it's pretty cool. Though.
So that's why I thought it was okay. But it wasn't taken the way I thought they'd be like wow, thank you. But it's kind of like
are you done now?
They just stopped using that machine. I think it embarrassed them, and So I was like, well, that wasn't the goal, but okay.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up in our next segment. We're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to we're going to come up with some solutions to counter some of the bullying, both online and offline bullying. And we have some great ideas, and we want you guys to join us. So don't go anywhere. All right, so we are back, and before we get started on some of the solutions, I actually, just for fun, just why not, we're gonna throw in just a little comedy that I wanted to share with you guys because I wanna laugh before we head into the success stories. Go ahead and roll that clip, and Nico, the comedy number 4 right there, and then we're gonna go into John Cena.
We're the Bully Busters. We eat straight rocks. If we catch you bullying, we'll knock off your socks. Yo, what's good? My name is Chester. Say a bad word and you're gone for the semester.
Hey, hello. My name's Wayne. Mess with my friends and you'll feel the pain.
What's up, my homies? The name is Jamie. Why be a goon when you can get more brainy?
When I was younger, I totally made videos like that.
That was a pretty nifty trick. But you know what isn't nifty?
Cyberbullying. Ayo, Chester, what's the 411 on cyberbullying?
I'll tell you, Jamie. This is Buddy, but you can call him Bud. And he's fallen under the influence of cyberbullying. Let's take a gander. Eat my shorts, loser.
One way you can deal with these rancid monster humans is by telling them to talk to the hand. Looks like the only thing he'll be eating is dinner.
All right, looks like that's a wrap. And remember, kids, stay swaggy
And
bulldoze bullying.
Okay, is this like a school project or something? That's cute. Pretty cute. It
You guys,
has to be.
we're gonna bulldoze bullying right here, right now.
Those poor kids are probably bullied all the time.
I know they're pretty popular on
Maybe
YouTube.
they're making a movement with
Okay,
this.
actually, you know what? Here's one thing: is if you are getting bullied, that's the cool thing about this cyberbullying is it also comes hand in hand with the fact that there are so many ways for you to really, showcase your skills and your talents. These kids are really clearly great at editing videos, and they got millions of views. So who cares if they got bullying? Like who's laughing to the bank? You know what I mean? And that goes to show that having success in your life is always the best counter to bullying. And so before we dive into, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. But let's watch John Cena, and then we're going to talk about the idea of like success countering the bullying. So we're gonna watch this, and then we'll discuss.
What's it like to be that muscular and big?
Oh, it's just like everything else. You just got to eat a little more.
Isn't it great, though, when you walk down the street, you don't fear any man, do you?
No. I started working out when I was 12 years old.
Because you got beat up a lot, right?
Exactly.
Is that true?
I was really just, it was a true comic book story. I was getting beat up every day in junior high. I finally started working out and
hit the gym.
Yeah.
Learn some self-defense.
Not even. Just that is a pretty intimidating thing.
Was it easy for you to get big like that? Or
No. As a matter of fact, it was a while. I started really seeing results. I started working out seriously at 12 years old. A lot of people will go to the gym really strong for a month or 3 months or even 6 months or a year.
For 20 years.
See, I've been doing it for just about 20 years myself.
Love Howard Stern.
Yep.
Yeah.
So success countering bullying. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I think it's the best revenge ever. Just like you, that's what happened with you. You're like, oh, you girls want to be mean to me? Well, watch
That's
this.
right. Well, watch
I'm going to
this.
go
Yeah,
on to be this
absolutely.
internationally known woman of the world and
Yep.
capture 800 million titles.
Absolutely, yeah.
And old school and new school. Because think about it, okay? Old school bullying was like, face-to-face or verbal backstabbing, whatever, right? Well, now with the current type of bullying, that cyberbullying, even though somebody can't like come up to you and necessarily like hit you and fight you, becoming stronger isn't necessarily going to like allow you to like hit somebody or beat somebody up like back in the day before there was, cyberbullying or whatever. But feeling good about yourself will make you feel more resilient against the bullying, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys found that becoming true to yourself and confident, feeling like secure with your worth and who you are allows you to be more resilient? Because we all four of us
actually,
get along.
I feel like I didn't really fully achieve that till I started to compete. And I think I was just around so much, like you're being judged and you're just like, I'm putting myself out there. You overcome a lot of fears. But being on stage and going through this journey for so long, like now if someone says something mean to me or if I know someone doesn't like me, I don't care.
You've developed
because you're confident in who you are.
But it takes it really takes you getting out of your comfort zone and just being like, this is who I am. I'm not going to be able to please everybody. And the people who are saying something mean, or like I tell my daughter, I'm like, if the only reason this girl's saying this to you is because she's unhappy. She's not happy.
Absolutely.
She's not. She's very self-conscious. She's insecure, so she's trying to make you feel crappy about yourself to make herself feel better. Don't let her do that to you.
Yeah, I know I would run into bullying in a sense of, like when I first started weight training and my body changed and I go out and people recognized and saw my strength, I really got off on that. I started to really enjoy that. And then I know when I retired from competition, I still wanted to have that very strong presence. So I can see.
Did that motivate you? Because you were, you said that when you entered the cheerleading world, they were all like kind of mean to you. You found this thing that you were, supremely good at. It made you really stand out from the rest. Did that motivate you and inspire you to want to really separate yourself from the pack?
It did.
In a unique way.
It did. Because that group of cheerleaders, at the time, it was like when they saw me. Like, what are you doing? You're getting biceps and, that's not cute. And it was wonderful that I went on to continue to weight train and embrace that. And then they were all wanting to be models and be on the cover and in Essence magazine. I ended up being in Essence magazine. I ended up, what I mean?
What, you on the cover of Essence?
On the cover. I have a full page, a full story in Essence magazine.
That's
wow.
So then that was
we need to see that.
Oh, Linda, that's so cool.
Yep, full page.
I'm telling you, I feel like in all early on in my life, because we weren't a part of the cyber world. All of us are in the age group where that wasn't really part of our childhood. So of course, I got the actual bullying, the backstabbing and the jealousy and the hate and the mean, you can't sit with us kind of situation. And, wanting to try to succeed and excel in something definitely helped me. And then now in my life, I feel like Camille. I feel confident in myself. And when people say something about me, it doesn't affect me. I'm more resilient because I truly don't care.
The other thing is if someone says something to attack maybe Chris or I or our business or something, if someone is attacking you verbally or mad or jealous or saying something negative, we did something right to make them feel so jealous or insecure. There's a reason. If we didn't matter or mean anything, they wouldn't talk about you.
Well, and one thing I found, because obviously, you guys know we get it. Oh, you look gross. The amount of hater comments on social media is crazy. What I think is hilarious, and if you see, I'll have to screen capture some of it, but the one way to silence a bully pretty quickly and easily, and it's not always the perfect trick, but you just kill them with kindness. People don't know how to react to that.
That is
so
true.
I will say,
they want retaliation.
It sounds like you're having a really bad day. I hope your day gets better because I'm having an amazing day or something.
I sent you some cookies.
They don't know how to respond.
Or say thank you to everything.
Yeah, you're right.
Whatever they say, just say thank you.
Well,
they say, oh my God, you're so big. Thank you.
No, honestly, I used to try to either ignore some, but then they want to fuel a dialogue. They're like, you're not even reading these comments. You're just a robot, But if you try to show sincerity, you kill them with kindness. it literally 9 times out of 10 will shut it down because then they don't even know, how do I respond?
Yeah,
she just told me to have a nice day.
Yeah, I think what this is all really showing, I mean, because you look at us and people see these confident women on stage, and so a lot of people make assumptions that we started out like having this like looking perfect and in shape and confident, but we've actually all
created this.
We've created this,
what
and
we are, who we are.
We've had to be comfortable in our own skin, and so we're saying to people out there, if you you're being bullied or you're in a situation, trust. It makes you stronger. You know?
I feel another thing I really feel is relevant to like bullies, especially like middle school or high school bullies, is a lot of the times they're the popular kids and they are
the bullies are.
They're the
popular kids.
And a lot like my daughter, like popularity is important to kids, especially young girls. They want to be accepted. But a lot of the popular girls, especially now, like they're doing stuff that high schoolers would do in middle school. And I tell my daughter and her friends, I'm like, look, these girls that you think are popular and cool right now, they're at their peak of their life.
Yes, that's right. They're at their peak.
They are at 8th grade and they are at the peaks. It's okay. It's okay to be a late bloomer because when you're in high school, they might be. They might have kids by then.
Yeah.
Or
it is true. It is very true. I mean, we've
seen losers now.
We have all seen that play.
I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
We probably all were.
We were all late bloomers.
Yeah. Let's see this video from Joe Rogan. I really like this one. Let's take a look.
If someone senses that you're scared of conflict, it's one of the surest signs you're going to get fucked with. I've had both.
That's what you were saying.
I went from being a kid who was terrified of conflict to being a martial arts champion. The reason why I became a martial arts champion is I was being picked on all the time. Kids were always fucking with me. I was like, I don't like this. So I'm going to become what I'm terrified of.
So he's saying he turned into a bully?
No, that's okay. That's interesting because that's kind of what I was
because he said he was on both sides of it.
Okay, so that's the thing is that I don't necessarily agree that it's good to counter that with like an equal punch, But I think it is interesting to think about how you do need to dominate your space, right? Yeah. And there needs to be almost like a judo-like style there because you have to be able to dominate your space. You can't like cower down when somebody's trying to dominate
up
you.
For yourself.
Yeah. Yes,
but it's what we're having a problem is with people who are preying on people who are weak or insecure.
That's what you always hear when you're growing up. Like as soon as a bully can tell that something's affecting you, they're going to keep going.
Right.
Just pretend like it doesn't bother you.
When you act like it doesn't bother you, they're going to move on to something more exciting.
And they really do, and that happens all the way up until adulthood. When people want to pick at you, and then a lot of people play into that, and I said, don't play into that. So
that is the best advice.
Yeah, that is the best advice.
Which you told us about a story that your mom said the way you deal with it is to do a smirk. So you said you practiced it. Let's see your smirk. We should all try.
All right, you guys, this is my mom's advice, and it worked for me, so maybe it'll work for you, okay? I was in junior high, and I was getting picked on, and I went home, and I told my mom, and I could tell that my mom was like super cool when she was younger, so I trusted her advice. And she told me that there's this like special smirk that you have to give them. When they say something mean to you, you give a smirk. So I practice this over and over again, so I'm gonna like do it.
Yes.
And you gotta like nail it. So I practiced this in front of a mirror and I got it just right. It worked so well that I use it to this day. So if I give you that smirk, like just know that you must have done. No, I'm kidding.
I can't do the eye roll though. Linda, you got it. Let's see.
Okay, we're gonna go around the circle. Show me your best eye roll.
Oh wait a minute.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
Oh,
that was good.
Oh yeah. I'm sold. Her whole body.
I already admitted it.
I think we should try our best attempt.
Okay.
Oh, that was, I think, a good one.
You look like you had a seizure.
Okay. You did.
That's what I was about to say.
So my strategy is I'm going to try to look like I'm rolling my eyes and I'm bam, just fucking punch it. So
bulldoze right into them, linebacker style, Whitney.
Yes.
Okay, show us yours, Camille.
Yes, you got it.
Ooh, that was pretty good.
I liked it.
She kept going. with it.
Let's do that again.
All right, you guys.
Well, that wasn't intentional. I was trying to move my hair.
We're gonna practice this some more, and you guys go home, go in front of your mirror, practice this because it worked for us. I mean, I don't know about theirs, but mine worked for me. So go practice yours, and until next time, we love you guys, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share this with everyone you love.